The American West of the 19th century was a landscape of myth and legend, populated by outlaws, tragic figures, and heroes whose exploits continue to captivate imaginations today. Outlaws like Cole Younger and Frank James became infamous for their daring robberies and escapes from the law, embodying the spirit of rebellion against the encroachment of civilization on the frontier. Yet, amidst the chaos, tragic figures emerged, such as Creed Logan, whose greed and evil intentions brought both personal tragedy and enduring legacies of defiance. Alongside these figures, men with inspiring ideas like Mark Twain emerged, embodying the values of justice, courage, and resilience in the face of adversity, shaping the American West into a landscape of both danger and opportunity. In the rugged heartland of the American West, where untamed wilderness met the burgeoning frontier towns, a legend was born. Abraham Tanner entered this world on a stormy night in 1852, just outside the lawless town of Dusty Gulch, Texas. Little did anyone know that this infant, born to a poor family of settlers, would grow up to become one of the most feared outlaws of the 19th century. As a young man, Abraham's criminal career escalated rapidly. He joined up with a gang of ruthless bandits known as the Gulch Gang, and it wasn't long before he earned a reputation for being one of the deadliest gunmen in the West. He was said to have a quick draw that defied belief and an uncanny ability to escape the clutches of the law. It wasn't just his skills that made him infamous, but his ruthless demeanor. Abraham showed no mercy to those who crossed his path.
Howdy, man. Wow, mighty disagreeable way to start the day, huh?
I'll say. Yeah, she slept a while back. Must have pulled a tendon.
Sorry to hear it. Mind if I have a look?
Be my guest.
Now, step down and help your man out. He'll bleed out. Come on, get to it.
What do you want?
Ain't nothing you can give me.
Abraham's skills with a gun were widely known throughout the territories, and he was frequently hired as an assassin, even by his own family, which proved to be a fatal mistake.
Margaret. My name is...
Abraham Tanner. I know who you are. I sent for you.
How'd you find me?
I've known where you were every day for 25 years.
By way of your mother.
Do not foul her memory.
I never hurt her, Margaret. Even when I was stumbling drunk,
No
I never...
matter. She is dead and buried, and nothing more needs saying. I sent for you because you are indebted to me.
It was the whiskey, Margaret. I couldn't help myself. Your mother, she left my bed. She hated the whiskey.
You owe me, Abraham Tanner, or you would not have come.
Well, Margaret, I have nothing.
I know every jail and cesspool town you lived in since Tennessee. I know you have a gun, and I know you are not afraid to use it.
What do you want?
I want a man to die.
Margaret, darling, I am not a hired killer.
Morgan Fitzhugh, Sam Flowers, John Westcott.
Well, all the gentlemen that you just named, they all drew on me, Margaret. Look, I ain't what I used to be, Margaret. I don't go killing people for no reason.
You want a reason? I will give you a reason. A man killed my son in cold blood and brought him back here slung over a saddle.
I'm sorry to hear it, Margaret, but what's that got to do with me? I mean, what's your son to me?
More than you know. Ned was raised a Carter. He never knew his real father. As much as it sickens me to say it, you are his father. No one alive knows this truth but me. And now you have your reason.
That's quite a reason.
Charlie! Eagle's Nest. Can I get to the top ridge without scaling the path?
Why?
I just got to. Can I get there?
Greater high places?
I don't have a choice.
Leave the horse here. I'll get some rope.
Get up there. Come on. Get up there with yourself. There you go. Get up there, woman. Nothing you can buy. Just in case anything happens to me, your silver spoon won't buy you another minute. Your kind makes people bleed. Expects them to love you for it.
I didn't say it would be easy.
War paint's a bit much, ain't it?
Scares the hell out of white eyes.
Stop right there, old man. Or your woman here will be at your feet before you can make another step. Let her loose. Stay put, old man. My business ain't with you. How many people you invite, McCall? What if I just send you what you come for? That was downright heroic. Wouldn't you know it, our guest of honor will be late. Now, you just step away from your mama. Right there will be fine. And who might you be?
What kind of lunatic are you?
Lunatic? I reckon it kind of lives to howl another day, Missy. All right, now drop your gun belt. Good. Good man.
You bastard.
An accident of birth, I reckon. Now, if you can load and fire before my round comes up, you'll make the day.
Cole Younger and Frank James were two infamous figures in American history, best known for their association with the outlaw group known as the James Younger Gang. Like Cole Younger, Frank James joined the Confederate guerrillas during the Civil War, serving under William Quantrill and later with his brother, Jesse James. Let's listen to Frank and Cole talk to famed lawman Bat Masterson about their early days.
How did you two good souls crawl into so many dark holes?
Maybe a couple of young man brothers were riding back to Missouri from the States' war. They get home, and the new order has given their farm to a Yank. That's okay. Carpetbagger offered them a job on their own farm, slopping hogs.
Same thing in town, too. Sweep my floors, Reb. Clean out this platoon, Reb. Hell, couldn't vote. Couldn't even preach in a church.
Well, you preach it.
You're missing the point, Masterson. It's not that I wanted to. It's that I couldn't.
Maybe these fellas could think that the bankers and the carpetbaggers that took all their money deserve to be got after.
For example.
Huh?
You are talking metaphorically, aren't you there, Frank? I mean, you're not saying that we were robbing anybody.
Still, if some of those land robbers and carpetbaggers took a bullet.
For example.
What are you, his lawyer?
Who could say who's the bad guy here, for example? I mean, they're just trying to get back what these people took from them.
To brighter days, gentlemen. May all our dark holes be filled with light. Yes. To that I will drink.
Well, Bat, I'm gonna pass on that drink because I kind of like having a little darkness with my light.
I guess we're just more comfortable living with our shadows, Bat.
Well, hell. I'll drink to that then.
A decade ago, the final act of the James Younger Gang took place back on September 7, 1876, when the James Younger Gang attempted to rob a bank in Northfield, Minnesota. 2 of the outlaws entered the bank, as the remaining 5, led by Cole Younger, remained on the street to provide cover. The crime soon went awry when the townspeople set off the alarm and ran for their guns. Younger and his brothers began to fire in the air to clear the streets, but the townspeople opened a deadly hail of bullets, killing 2 gang members and badly wounding Bob Younger. As the townfolk formed posses to pursue the fleeing gang, the outlaws separated. The James brothers made it back to Missouri, but the 3 younger brothers did not. They and another gang member, Charlie Pitts, waged a gun battle with a local posse in a wooded ravine along the Watonwan River west of Medelia, Minnesota. Pitts was killed, and Cole, Jim, and Bob Younger were badly wounded and captured. Cole spent the next decade in prison and was released in the custody of Marshal Bill Tillman to make a silent film about a bank robbery with real outlaws and lawmen.
Damn, I never do get used to seeing that mess of scars.
Ancient ghost, continue to haunt. 11 from Northfield alone. That, wasn't our best adventure there, Frank.
Nope. Yet here you stand, body and soul.
Evidently. Well, at least I'll look good while Tillman humiliates me in front of the rest of the world. The upside is, though, he might be able to make me look 20 years younger.
It's too late for guys like us.
Perhaps. But perhaps it's not too late to set it right.
Set what right, Cole?
Northfield, Minnesota.
Northfield? There ain't no setting that right, Cole. The minute we hauled out of that bank, we didn't have a chance. I mean, you still got the scars to prove it. It cost us dearly.
I gotta set it right, Frank. And this might be my last chance. And the upside is getting to knock that self-righteous Bill Tillman off his high horse. There's nothing good or bad, but thinking makes it so.
There's always a consequence, Cole.
Perhaps, Frank, we were alive back then. Hell, they were writing books about us, the Robin Hoods of the West. Now, we're just fodder for the likes of Tillman. Forgotten relics from a forgotten age.
You know, Cole, I got a good life here. I own my business. I'm making a living. I mean, yeah, it's a little boring, you know? I'm kind of bored out of my head. Every day's the same, you know, you're stitching this and measuring that. I'm like a old maid or something. But I got respect. But I stand for nothing. Oh, my God. What do you got in mind for me now, Mr. Satan?
What if we rob the bank for real?
Why?
To humiliate the great Bill Tillman. Hell, if he has his way, we'll be laughingstock.
On the other hand, if we can turn the tables, rob that bank for real, oh, then it's Tillman and Masterson who play the fools, and we become the legends.
We might become dead legends.
No, I have no intention of dying.
Frank, are you in?
As long as it's not another Northfield. Now, how do you see this playing out, Cole?
Come on. Whatever you two are planning, I want in.
this calls for a drink.
You forget your place, Murphy?
No, Cole, I'm right where I meant to be all along.
That's not part of the plan, Murphy.
Yeah, well, there's been a slight change in plan. No need to go there, Cole. Now, what is your name?
Mordecai Goldstein. My friends call me Mort.
Mort. Well, I want you to do me a favor.
A favor? What kind of favor?
In case you haven't figured it out. These are real, son. I want you to take this bag, go to that safe and fill it with real money.
I forgot the combination.
Does that help you to remember? Murphy, easy, Cole. Let this play out.
Just another minute, gentlemen.
Sorry, Mort.
See? Nothing's changed.
Mort, it wasn't meant to happen like this. I don't like this.
Look, just stick with the plan. Now, when Pepper cuts loose, head for the horses. By the time the dust clears, we'll be halfway to Pine Ridge. Auction! That's your cue. You're up.
They're robbing the bank! They're robbing the bank! They're robbing the bank! They're robbing the bank! Ooh, I like that!
Murphy plugged you. You'll be all right. Now just stay here, keep your head down so you don't get it blown off.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Younger. No!
Game's afoot, my friend.
Watch out for Murphy, Cole.
During the chaos in the streets, Cole Younger was shot in the back and seriously injured after killing one of the outlaws.
Cole. Hell, what's one more? Tillman. For the record, let's say Frank had nothing to do with this. Oh, this one's biting me pretty bad.
I saw what you did, Cole. I won't forget it.
Another Cole Younger tale.
Yeah. Full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
Let's get him to the dock.
In the heart of the American West during the 19th century, there lived a young cowboy named Ned Carter. Ned was a solitary man, a figure of mystery and hardship, with a large scar etched deep into the left side of his face, a constant reminder of his past, and a friendship that haunted him.
Would like to stay a little longer.
I'm sure you would. But the morning comes early and I've got a business to run. So you be on your way. Besides, I do not need Maggie Carter gunning for me.
She ain't got nothing to say about who I spend my time with.
Oh, something tells me she does.
She poked and prodded my father along, but I'll be damned, she gonna run my life. You don't believe me either. You don't like everybody else. Maybe you need me to show you how much of a man I can be.
Ned? Go home. Sooner or later, you're gonna learn how to stand on your own 2 feet. For your sake, I hope it's sooner.
I'm sorry. I would like to stay,
I know.
please.
I know. Now you go on.
Ned, come in. We have 300 head of cattle to move to the North Ridge this morning. And you know that we are short-handed, yet you insist on running half the night?
First one in the saddle come daylight.
Perhaps, but you'll be angry and mean and spitting hatred at everything that crosses your path. And why? Because you spent half the night with a harlot who saps all that is good. She breaks your will, she bridles your ambition, and you run with blinders.
I see better than you think. And where I've been ain't nobody's business, because where I've been is where I want to be. It's where I find quiet. It's where I feel like I'm alive, like I am somebody.
Oh, you're somebody, all right. Somebody who leaves his $10 on a dusty dresser and then slinks down the back stairs and into an alley.
It's not like that. There's no money, no back alley.
It is always like that. You are so full of self-delusion and the intoxication of cheap perfume, everything that is real smolders like last night's embers.
All that is real? And what do you have that is real? Father dies and you imprison yourself in this house, in this cave. I don't want that life. I will not have it. You're not gonna lock me up behind your doors with some box. This is your life. What are these?
Letters from your grandmother.
Someone as old as I am.
She died a long time ago.
What's this?
It's just an old gun.
Just an old gun. Whose was it? My grandfather's?
It was not.
Whose was it? Who are these people? Who's she?
She's your grandmother.
Him.
My father. He died at Gettysburg.
And him?
He was my mother's husband after my father died.
These people are all strangers now. Like names on a gravestone. And you're telling me that this is your life? Here on the floor of your cave. What's real for you died 30 years ago.
You are so blind. What's real for me is here. What Charles Carter built from nothing. It's yours to make even bigger. Carter Ranch makes you somebody. Don't be corrupted by what is base and vulgar. Molly Richfield was a pathetic nobody, and that little wretch brought you to your knees. Georgia Lamb will drain what is left. Be a man, like Charles Carter. Do not end up a nobody.
I am nobody.
Ned's closest friend and confidant was a fellow cowboy named Cy McCall. They were more than friends. They were like brothers, bound by the unspoken code of the West. But as with many tales of the American frontier, trouble had a way of finding even the most steadfast of friendships.
Ned, you ever see Molly Richfield? Talk to her or anything, I mean?
Molly's gone. She's run off with some drummer. For reasons I no longer care to think on.
And Cy?
He's dead to me.
But you were like brothers.
I said he's dead to me. Catherine, stay away from him.
After a shootout over stolen cattle at Osage Station, the relationship between Ned Carter and Cy McCall reached a tipping point.
Big Sky settles the score. And I'll return home nary a scratch. Well, almost. 5 bad men. Piled up like cordwood in the back of a buckboard, though. No need for a judge or jury here in Singletree, ain't that right? That's too complicated. Too much paperwork. Too many words. I guess you just gotta drill them and plant them. I did hear Big Si almost bought it, though. I mean, that's what I hear. I hear most powerful man in Singletree. Just this much. Meeting up with old Nick. Why? What will we do if good old Cyrus McCall moves on? What will we do?
Boys. Thought I'd find you here, Ned. Place ain't changed a lick since we was kids. Growed up a bit. Spent many an hour on that rock concocting mischief, didn't we? Look, it's time you and me air this out once and for all.
There's nothing left to air out. Didn't you read about it? Big Sky already settled the score.
Caleb Bateman and his men got exactly what they were asking for. Why do you care anyway? Unless, of course, you're...
You know, I was thinking, wondering, if you was ever here with Molly. Right here. On this rock.
It's not true, Ned. I never took Molly nowhere.
Is that right? Not even with my sister?
Not even for nothing!
For everything! For her. She used me to get to you. You didn't even want her. But you wouldn't let me have her. You both left me marked for the rest of my life.
Just stop it, Ned. Don't be a fool!
I've always been your fool. Things change. And this fool will burn his prince down. There is always a score to settle.
Ned! Oh, Ned!
Creed Logan was a dishonest cowboy who worked at Gatewood Freight, a shipping company owned by former Confederate Captain Justin Gatewood. Creed was a skilled hand with a gun and a horse, but he was also a ruthless opportunist. He had his sights set on Gatewood's daughter, Helen, and he was determined to marry her, even if it meant using underhanded means.
Good thing the Indians are domesticated these days.
What do you mean?
I mean, you must be stone deaf.
Indian ponies aren't shot. And I heard you coming 5 minutes ago. I just didn't want to seem too, anxious.
Anxious? For what?
Why, the, pleasure of young Miss Gatewood's company.
Pretty damn sure of yourself for a hired hand.
Man's got to know his measure.
Man's got to know his limitations.
We have been meeting here for over a year and a half. Tell me about my limitations. Tell me about my limitations.
No smelly cigar this time. Competent. I'd say that you're competent.
Competent. Hell, Harlan Babcock's competent. What we do here ain't exactly cipher, neither.
Well, you're the one who said a man's got to know his measure.
You know, when we're married, I do believe I'm gonna have to set about taming your ways.
Married?
Yeah, married. It's about time everybody knew it, including your father.
Father?
He's gotta know sometime. Might as well be now. But nothing. Hey, who's been riding herd on the men? Keeping the schedules tight, repairing the wagons? Who's been discouraging competition, Helen? Me. Hell, I've been in the mud of this business while you've been safe and dry up in your office writing invoices.
All I'm saying is let's just wait until the time's right.
Well, time is right. Helen, you owe me. You owe me plenty.
You've been paid. You've been paid plenty.
Wait. I just wanted us to have a plan.
Gatewood hatched a plan to kidnap the daughter of former Union Captain William Curry in a revenge-filled plot to lure Curry into a gunfight.
Your daddy looked like the kind of man who knew how to get what he wanted.
There was a time. But he grew to see things not as they were, but as they could have been. His way of dealing with disappointment.
Why do you think Curry will show? We don't have the girl, and we don't even know his plan.
We don't need the girl. As long as she is away, and Osage Station is in his plans, he'll come.
Well, it seems complicated to me. Mr. Gatewood, why don't you let me handle Curry? I'll make it look like an accident.
It is a matter of honor. Take this late tomorrow afternoon to Curry. And go back to the Osage Station just in case. I'll be watching your brother and that Egyptian fighter until the sheriff decides. Well, until he's distracted. And remember, no one gets hurt.
Mr. Gatewood, I've been meaning to say something about me and Helen.
Mm-hmm. You and Helen.
Yes, sir. We have plans. Yeah, I know I should have come to you right off, but Helen wanted to wait until you got settled in. Last couple of years, we've been working together, and we've seen it pay off. I mean, Gatewood freight is growing.
Freed, I admire your loyalty. You make things happen. You and I share common traits, I'll admit. But they're cemented in ambition. We make things. We break things. We're restless. Even destructive to those that are near us. Forge a new world after all this is behind us. I'll see to it that you have the money. Why, come with me to Juarez. Live like a king. Let Helen settle into a soft world.
But we had plans. Why, in a couple of years, Gatewood Freight is gonna
do this. For me. Tomorrow. The relay station.
Kate! Kate! Kate, answer me!
Don't do anything foolish, Grover. I want you to loosen that gun belt with your left hand. I said left hand, cow nurse. She and I are going to be spending the rest of the night alone together.
Stop!
Tie up the girl and do not hurt her. Move one more inch, son. You'll force me to end this too soon. That was unnecessary. Tie up the girl. And build a fire. A big fire. Welcome to hell, Captain Curry.
I've come. Where's my daughter?
Your daughter is safe. I too have a daughter. And I know your fears.
Then why would you take mine?
You're here, aren't you? You have my word. She will not be harmed.
Your word? I'll see my daughter now.
You understand. I'm going to kill you, Captain Curry.
Something you've tried before.
I've learned from my failure. I've had time. 5 years. Every single day. Detail by detail. I've dreamt. I've planned this moment. Shut away in my cell while you lived in the light, advising a daughter, comforting a daughter, ripping from me precious time as surely as you ripped the life of my brother from this earth.
I'm not responsible for your brother's death. I did what I had to do. Do you think I'm proud about marching you poor bastards to that camp? I live with the horror just like you do.
How dare you compare your loss?
Understand one thing, Gatewood. Neither of us is afraid to die. We've had a lot to do with death, you and I. And even though the cries and the blood still plague me, my conscience does not.
Conscience. The word a coward uses when...
Enough! Enough talk!
Kate!
End this thing now! Kill him!
Stand down, Creed. Put up your gun.
Let her go! Now!
Untie the girl. Curry, tell your daughter to leave. To go home.
Are you out of your mind? We can't let her go.
Man does not make war on children.
You're a fool. I may not be good enough for your daughter. But I'll show you how to finish this thing.
Creed Logan was a complex and contradictory figure. He was a skilled cowboy and a ruthless thug. He was ultimately undone by his own greed and ambition. Born in Florida, Missouri, in 1835, Mark Twain gained fame for his sharp wit and insightful social commentary, satirizing American society and exploring themes of morality, hypocrisy, and human nature. He is often called the father of American literature and the greatest humorist the United States has produced.
Samuel Langhorne Clemens, better known as Mark Twain, is arguably America's most cherished writer. Even in his time, he was as popular a celebrity as anyone in the country. Yet as successful as he was as a writer and a speaker and a humorist, Twain was not a businessman. His publishing company went bankrupt. Later, he squandered thousands of dollars on a typesetting machine that was never completed. He even lost royalties on his own books when they were plagiarized before he even had a chance to publish them himself. Thus, America's most beloved writer was often adrift in what he might describe as the perilous waters of financial instability. And if the truth be known, the creator of Huck Finn and other memorable characters may well have perished in those waters were it not for a business tycoon known to those who tangled with him as Hellhound Rogers.
Mark Twain coming to any town to entertain its folks was always an event no one wanted to miss. Many a young man earned 2 bits or more handing out flyers to eager citizens who were willing to stand in line for tickets to see and hear America's wisest man share his many adventures. Only this day, the joy of his arrival was not shared by all. Mr. Carl Dollarhide had his own reasons to seek out Mr. Twain. Now, many folks, and even very important ones, find a way to Missouri to see Mr. Mark Twain. The celebrated writer and lecturer was soon to find out that one of his admirers was Henry Huddleston Rogers, a man who was as famous in high finance business as Twain was in the literary world.
Oh, Buck, give me that broom. Now I want you to go down to Mr. Harris's and grab me about a dozen cigars.
Yes, ma'am.
And don't you go hanging about.
Now, as Mr. Rogers stepped off the train, he hoped he could hide out for a day or two. He looked forward to sitting back in his hotel room, sipping special Scotch whiskey and smoking Cuban cigars. And he would relax and simply be no one special. And in the evening, he would get to listen to his favorite writer from the best seat in the house.
Why, Mr. Twain, you're early.
That, madam, is an accurate assessment. It is my custom to arrive late for my performances, courtesy of the Northern Pacific Railroad.
Oh, he was one of the first world-renowned lecturers. He traveled Europe and many other places, giving many, many talks. And he identified with the common person. He told stories that really related to just the common people, and people flocked to his lectures. One, I remember, there were like 1,200 people who came just to hear his lecture. Very well known. His first lecture was before a printing association, and then some years later, his last lecture was actually before a girls' school in Baltimore. And gosh, he must have given almost 1,000 lectures during that span of 50 or so years. Quite prolific. One of his trademarks was the white suit that he wore. He took that as this is his symbol, and he really didn't want to be photographed in any way when he was not wearing that white suit. And I bet many of us, when we think of Mark Twain, picture him in that white suit.
You are Miss Colette Devereaux, the proprietress of the theater?
Well, indeed I am, Mr. Twain, and having you in our little town is just so very exciting and thrilling, and
I am so pleased to make your acquaintance. Please go to no trouble on my...
Mr. Harris, is there better...
Young man?
Sir?
To Roger's dismay, word had gotten out that a very important visitor was on the noon train. The town marshal and his friend the mayor, they hurried to the station to welcome the man they considered an even bigger celebrity than Mark Twain.
Let me tell you about Hellhound Rogers, Henry Huddleston Rogers, an American industrialist and financier who gained his entire fortune through the oil refining business. From 1861 to 1909, we are talking about a ruthless businessman. He started his own companies at the age of 21 and ended up starting from a Wamsuka oil refinery to the amalgamated copper mining industry. And then he found himself the vice president of Standard Oil and the chairman of their organization's operational committee. Not only that, he was the president of the Ohio River Railroad, eventually creating a subsidiary, the West Virginia Short Line Railroad. Having Rogers come into your town would have made front page news. Everyone would have been talking about it. It's almost as if 10 years ago, Steve Jobs walked right into your town.
What are you men doing? You two fixing to be the gents that assassinated Mark Twain?
Shut up. You keep quiet. Mr. Dollarhide wants a word with you.
You must be one dumb cowboy telling Mark Twain to keep quiet. I was quiet once in Indiana 30 years ago for about 30 seconds.
Shut up. Don't need no fancy speeches. Mr. Dollarhide ain't used to waiting for nothing.
Dollarhide? That Carl Dollarhide that invested in the Page Compositor? Is Dollarhide fixing to pull his money out of my butt?
Shut up.
I have wit, charm, and good looks, but I am flat out of money. I am flat broke, busted, and financially insolvent.
Get up.
Financially insolvent? What's insolvent?
Go get his coat. Get moving like you're going to a picnic.
Mr. Twain? Mr. Twain? Buck, get in here! I want you to take this to the marshal, and I want you to do it right quick. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Buck. Buck, go tell the mayor to meet me in the hotel.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, we're sorry to disturb you, Mr. Rogers.
Good afternoon, Mr. Rogers. We know you're here to see Mr. Twain, but I'm afraid we have some bad news.
The truth is, Mr. Rogers, Twain has been kidnapped. Not to worry, we know who has him. A man named Dollarhide. He's got a ranch east of town about 2 miles out.
We'll get him back in time for his lecture.
We'll assemble a posse and ride out to Dollarhide Ranch. It's getting late, so we'll take him out in the morning. Mr. Twain doesn't lecture till tomorrow night, but we'll bring him back, I assure you.
Mr. Dollarhide's not a vicious man. Matter of fact, he's probably just joking. He does like to get the newspapermen all riled up.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. Just keep me informed, will you?
Henry Hellhound Rogers didn't get his nickname by depending on others to get the job done. Arriving at Twain's room, he was delighted to discover that he and his favorite writer had a lot in common. and quickly hatched a plan to solve the problem of Mr. Twain's sudden disappearance.
Miss Devereaux, please arrange a carriage.
Yes, sir.
Also, I'll need directions to Dollarhide's ranch.
Of course, sir.
Thank you.
Well, as I live and breathe, Carl Dollarhide, financial investor extraordinaire. I suspect you are as unhappy with our investment in the Page Compositor as I am.
Sam Clemens, I heard you were dead.
Rumor of my death has been greatly exaggerated.
Don't be glib with me, Mr. Mark Twain. Your shenanigans will only get you hurt. You told me that investing in this Page Compositor contraption would revolutionize the publishing industry and return my investment as a guarantee tenfold.
Dollarhide, you lack the sense of a wooden sidewalk.
One of the things that Twain liked was inventions. He dabbled in a little bit of inventing himself. Unfortunately, he lost a lot of money by doing that. The most notable downfall of his was investing in an automated printing press. Unfortunately, it was so complicated and inconsistent that it never made it to market. He invested $300,000 of his own money then. Today, that's worth like $8 million. That is quite an investment. So a lot of it was his own money. He used a lot of the inheritance of his wife and the money from other friends. And so he had to declare bankruptcy as a result of all of that. But true to his character, later he had to do a lot of lecturing just to make money to make up for that. And as he could, he paid back everybody to whom he was indebted from that bankruptcy.
The papers back east are full of rumor about my financial difficulties. Most of it is hearsay and conjecture.
I don't want to hear about your problems. You got me into this, and I want my money.
We have that much in common, Dollarhide. I want my money too. But it looks like neither one of us is going to have it anytime soon. The only money I have is the advance on my lecture tour. And that is just enough for whiskey and cigars. I am not worth the powder it would cost to shoot me.
You cost me $40,000, and I better get it back quick, or you are going to be one hurtin' scribbler. Now, this is what's going to happen. In the morning, Mr. Hudson will take you back to town, and Mr. Hudson will collect your lecture fee. And Mr. Hudson will remain with you for as many months as will be necessary until we are square.
Hold up, mister. You're way off the trail.
Mister, I seem to have made a wrong turn way back. My rig is out by your gate, and I'm in need of some direction. If you'd be so obliged to assist me, share the Scotch whiskey.
Way too early for the marshal to be here. Go out and see what those fools are up to.
Now, gentlemen, why'd you have to go and do that? Good Scotch whiskey is hard to find.
What are you boys up to?
Mr. Dollarhide, I presume.
And who the hell might you be?
Let me introduce myself. Henry Huddleston Rogers.
The Hellhound Rogers?
In the flesh. I believe I'm here to solve two of your problems.
Two problems? What two problems might that be?
First, the help you have here. The second, is the money you believe this man owes you.
And how is it that you can help with that?
You must let me explain. On the first point, you need to improve your interview process. Only you can help with that. As for the money this man owes you,
everything, sir, has its limits. You cannot educate lead into gold.
It appears that you two gentlemen have made a bad investment. I have made some bad investments myself. What we will do is travel to the Cold Armory, get a look at this contraption. If the compositor has no more value, this conversation is ended. Sam Clements, Mark Twain, I presume.
The same, sir. And you're Hellhound Rogers. It has always been my rule to never smoke when asleep and to never refrain from smoking when awake.
Before I forget, things you expect to be pilfering from my hotel room, I expect them to be returned directly. Also, I'll be in Fairhaven on Monday. I hope you won't be there.
Mark Twain openly credited Henry Huddleston Rogers with saving him from financial ruin. But more importantly, they shared a close personal relationship. Although opposites in many ways, their friendship lasted over 16 years. It ended with Rogers' death in 1909. Mark Twain died within the year. As a side note, it was Twain who introduced Rogers to a marvelous child who as an infant was made deaf and blind by illness. Twain was concerned that although she had passed her entrance exams to Radford College with honors, her poverty might prevent her from completing her degree. Rogers not only paid for the young woman's education, but he also provided a stipend for her living expenses. That young woman was Helen Keller.